Hey there, FluentCast listeners. Welcome back to FluentCast, the podcast where we explore global trends, improve our English, and learn to navigate the world together. I'm Diego, your host and teacher, and today we are diving into a topic that might feel very close to home for many of us: tech burnout. Yes, that overwhelming feeling when you're glued to your devices, bombarded by endless notifications, and just can't seem to catch a break from the digital world. Before we jump in, I want you to imagine sitting down with a good friend over a cup of coffee, just talking about life. Only this time, our conversation is about how our constant connection to technology can drain our energy and blur our focus. And while we talk, we're also going to learn some useful English vocabulary together. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is tech burnout? In simple terms, tech burnout is that state of feeling overwhelmed and exhausted from too much screen time and digital information. Think about those days when you've scrolled through social media for hours. By the end of it, you're not sure if you learned anything new or if your brain is just overloaded with noise. One advanced word I'd like to highlight is overwhelmed. When I say overwhelmed, I mean feeling completely overcome by an excess of information or too many tasks, as if your mind is drowning in endless notifications. You might be wondering why all of this is happening. Our world today is more connected than ever. With smartphones, tablets, and computers, we are always plugged in. And while that constant connectivity has its benefits, it also brings a relentless flood of information, both real and fake, that can be too much to handle. Imagine your brain as a sponge. If you keep pouring water on it without a break, eventually it can't absorb anymore, leaving you feeling drained. That's tech burnout in a nutshell. Now, let's pause for a moment and consider another side of our digital overload: the never-ending stream of news that we encounter every day. Social media is bursting with headlines and snippets of information, and not all of it is true. Sometimes we see sensational stories about politicians embracing extreme ideologies or controversial decisions that goes against human rights. Other times, there's a steady stream of disinformation, stories that are misleading and cause stress by playing on our emotions. It's important to understand that fake news is designed to grab your attention by triggering strong emotions, while real news, though sometimes equally stressful, reports the facts accurately. One advanced word I want to explain here is disinformation. Disinformation means deliberately false information that is spread with the intent to deceive. Navigating this digital landscape means we have to become critical thinkers. We need to ask ourselves, is this information reliable? Where is it coming from? In fact, recent studies have shown that excessive exposure to short-form video content, such as 30-second reels on TikTok or Instagram, can actually harm our memory and reduce our attention span. Research published in the Journal of Cognitive Psychology in 2023 found that constantly switching between these rapid-fire videos and our regular feeds can impair working memory, making it harder for us to retain information over the long term. Social media, while it connects us with the world, often amplifies negative messages and creates a perpetual sense of crisis. This is why it's so important to take a step back, detox digitally, and focus on what really matters. By being more selective about what we consume, we can protect our mental well-being and keep our focus sharp. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about some ways to break free from the grip of constant connectivity. A digital detox is simply a period during which you intentionally unplug from your devices. Now, I know that sounds a bit intimidating at first, especially if you're used to checking your phone every few minutes, but trust me, your mind and body will thank you for it. One effective strategy is to set specific times during the day when you consciously turn off your gadgets. For instance, you might decide that after 8 p.m. your phone goes into airplane mode and you use that time to read a book, go for a walk, or simply enjoy some quiet moments. Another helpful idea is to designate certain areas in your home as tech-free zones. Perhaps your bedroom, where you create a calm space free from the buzzing of notifications. By carving out these pockets of time and space, you give yourself the chance to recharge. It's not about abandoning technology completely, it's about finding a balance that works for you. When you give yourself a break, you can come back to your devices with a refreshed mind and a clearer perspective. Let's dive a little deeper into mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of what you're doing at any given moment. It's about focusing on the here and now rather than letting your thoughts drift off to your never-ending to-do list or the constant chatter on social media. When I say mindfulness, imagine it as a way to reset your mental state, to clear away the digital clutter. One practical technique is to create a daily routine that encourages you to disconnect. For example, you might try spending the first 30 minutes of your morning without any screens, just time for yourself to breathe, meditate, or even write in a journal. Another approach is to set a timer to remind you to take short breaks throughout the day. These breaks can be as simple as stepping outside for a few minutes or practicing a short meditation exercise. Think of mindfulness like taking a break during a long run. You wouldn't expect to keep sprinting without a pause, right? Your brain needs those moments of rest too. By cultivating a mindful routine, you allow yourself to slow down, clear your thoughts, and engage more deeply with the world around you. Now, I'd like to invite you to reflect on your own experiences with tech burnout. Close your eyes for a moment and think about a day when your phone was buzzing non-stop and your notifications just wouldn't quit. How did that constant barrage of information make you feel? Did you notice that it affected your mood, your focus, or even your conversations with friends and family? Sometimes the endless scrolling can leave us feeling more isolated than connected. Ask yourself, what change could you make to reclaim your focus? Maybe you could set a no screen time every evening, or perhaps if you try a few minutes of meditation each day. Even small adjustments can make a big difference. Remember, learning English isn't just about mastering grammar and vocabulary. It's also about understanding how to discuss real-world challenges with confidence and clarity. Alright, FluentCast listeners, that brings us to the end of today's episode on tech burnout. Let's do a quick recap. We explored what tech burnout is, why it happens, and how our hyper-connected world, with its mix of fake news and real, sometimes stressful news, can overload our minds. We talked about digital detox strategies like setting screen-free times and creating tech-free zones, and we delved into mindfulness techniques that help us stay present and focused. We even touched on some recent studies showing that the barrage of short, fast-paced videos on platforms like TikTok can impair our memory and attention span. I hope that by sharing these insights and vocabulary, you feel more equipped to tackle tech burnout and reclaim your focus. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Maybe you've tried a digital detox or found a mindfulness routine that works for you. Reach out to me, leaving a comment if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify. Your stories help us all learn and grow together. And before you go, here's something extra for those of you looking to improve your English skills while engaging with global issues like tech burnout. If you want to articulate these challenges even better and gain confidence in your English, consider one-on-one lessons with Fluent English Academy. Our personalized classes are designed to help you build the vocabulary, fluency, and confidence you need to discuss any topic, yes, even tech burnout. Check out our website for more details. Thank you for tuning into this episode of FluentCast. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Share this podcast with a friend. Remember, technology is just a tool, and it is up to us to decide how we use it. Stay curious, stay mindful, and most importantly, keep practicing your English. Until next time, take care of yourself, unplug when you need to, and see you soon.